My grandfather gave a luxury car to each of his 12 grandchildren. Only I, the most devoted grandson, was left with nothing. My grandfather said, "You live close to work. Giving you a car would be a waste." When I heard that, I said nothing. That very night, I quietly canceled the private care facility I had arranged for him, which cost 400,000 yuan a year. I arrived 10 minutes late to that family dinner. I sat in the coldest seat, right next to the door. My grandfather, Yang Zhengguo, sat at the head of the table. One by one, he handed out the 12 cars to my cousins, seated around the table. From Audis to BMWs, everyone got one. Then my grandfather called my name. "Yang Chen, you live close to the company. Take the subway. Giving you a car would be throwing it away." The table was still filled with cheers and words of gratitude. I nodded and simply said, "Okay." Then, amid all the commotion, I quietly put down my chopsticks. No one knew that under the table, I was clenching my fingers so hard they had turned white. The pain of my nails digging into my palm kept my mind unusually clear. I raised my eyes and looked around at all those excited faces. My oldest cousin, Yang Wei, was already taking photos of his keys to post on social media. The caption read, "My grandfather loves me. My first Audi." My cousin Jiang Lin was already calling her friend to arrange having the windows tinted the next day. Even the youngest, Jiang Xiaoyu, who had just turned 20, received a BMW 3 Series and was crying with excitement. Suddenly, I remembered something. Last year, on Jiang Xiaoyu's birthday, my grandfather directly sent 20,000 yuan to the family group chat and said Xiaoyu was the little princess of the family. But on my birthday, he never said a single word in the group. He did not even send me a private message. It wasn't that he forgot. He had simply never remembered. My mother, Chen Huifen, once told me privately, "In your grandfather's heart, your father's branch of the family has been pushed aside for a long time." Back then, I told her not to overthink it, that my grandfather was cold, not unfair. Now I realized the one deceiving himself had always been me. My second uncle, Jiang Jianmin, who was sitting beside me, seemed to notice my silence. He lowered his voice and said, "Xiao Chen, it's already decided. Don't take it to heart. Your grandfather must have his reasons." After saying that, he turned away and continued discussing the stock market with my uncle by marriage. Of course, my grandfather had considered everyone's needs. My oldest cousin wanted status, so he got an Audi. My cousin wanted practicality, so she got a BMW. Another cousin wanted to show off, so he got a Mustang. Only I was considered so carefully that I received nothing at all. I picked up my glass of soda and took a sip. It was sweet, but I could hardly swallow it. My company had moved to the development zone 6 months earlier. My commute took an hour and a half. In fact, I had been saving up for a long time to buy a car, but every month I had to transfer 36,000 yuan to my grandfather's care facility. That left me unable to save anything. I wanted to ask why. Out of 13 grandchildren, I was the only one who had been forgotten. But my grandfather had already turned away and resumed discussing Audi options with Jiang Wei. I noticed that while talking to Jiang Wei, my grandfather glanced at me from the corner of his eye. It was such a quick glance that if I had not been watching him, I would never have noticed it. There was no guilt in that look, no hesitation, not even intent, only the most ordinary indifference, as if it were completely normal that I did not belong at that table. Suddenly, I remembered that when my father was alive, my grandfather treated him exactly the same way. At family gatherings, my father always sat in a corner. No one talked to him, no one served him food. He was not even included in the toasts. At the time, I did not understand. I thought my father was simply introverted and unsociable. Later, when my father died, my mother took me to the funeral. My grandfather did not even stand up to greet her. He remained seated in his chair and coldly said, "You've come," and that was all. At the time, I was a teenager, trembling and crying in front of my father's photograph.